under the framework agreed by the authority of heads of states and government. With the population of ECOWAS estimated at 340 million and GDP of US dollar 465 billion, we have no doubt that the establishment of a credible monetary union would unleash the potential of the region.
Done as part of the sub-regional zone's ongoing efforts to surface a single currency, the meeting also involved the exchange of views of the international economic environment. The Director General of West Africa Monetary Agency, Professor Ben Omar Njai, stated gains as well as bottlenecks regarding the sister institutions and stakeholders' efforts in the realization of a viable and well-grounded economic zone.
Despite the challenges associated with the decline in global economic growth and the persistence of the financial crisis at the global level, economic activity within the region remained relatively strong, with an economic growth rate of about 6.3% and a declining average inflation rate which stood at 7.9 in June 2013. Budget deficit improved from 1.7 in June 2012 to 1.1 in the corresponding period in 2013.
If all goes according to plan, a second currency will be in place by 2015 and a single currency by the year 2020. Given the economic bloc's human and other resources, the realization of this objective, as finance and economic experts put it, will solely give the sub-region a significant economic facelift, one that may drastically reduce poverty and as such better the lives of many West Africans and the continent by extension. Modou Badiane, Grts News.
A week-long health education program devoted to malaria came to a close at the weekend in Janjanbureh Central River region. The initiative, dubbed Camp Glow and organized by Peace Corps The Gambia, brought together students from scores of senior secondary schools in CRR. Babukar Senghor tells us more.
Volunteers in the Gambia are showing their willingness to support government's resolve to stamp out malaria in the country. They are doing this by sensitizing people, especially the young ones, about the effects of the disease through educational programs as part of their efforts to make real differences in the lives of people, especially in remote communities. The week-long annual anti-malaria program called Camp Glow ended over the weekend in Janjanbureh, CRR, and it is the second of its kind organized by the American Peace Corps volunteers. The initiative is meant to educate students on the harmful effects of malaria, as well as encourage them to become active leaders in their communities and work together as equal partners with confidence.
About partnership, men and women, boys and girls, to achieve success. Because you are the future of the nation.
Malaria continues to be one of the most devastating diseases, claiming the lives of millions of people worldwide, especially in underdeveloped countries. The Deputy Chief of Mission of the United States Embassy in Banjul in the Greek underscores the need to eradicate the disease, especially in remote areas. She disclosed the colossal sum of money her government spends annually in the fight against malaria.
I think it's important that our students and our Peace Corps also let people know that the United States is the single largest individual donor to the Global Fund. The Global Fund budget this year is $40 billion. The United States alone funds 1/3 of that. And 1/3 of that money goes to malaria.
The 2-year-old program carved out of an idea of shaping up the lives of young people to take key responsibilities in communities, and Alaji Kamara, as senior education officer, is optimistic will impact greatly on the people of the area. He further reiterates the need for participants to filter the knowledge gained to their peers in their respective schools.
It is important that what you learn here, you share the information with the rest of the student population in your various schools.
Modlamin Jajusi, as participant, expressed delight at this staging of the program, which he described as career developing opportunity, and hopes to implement the knowledge gained in his community.
What we learned, the message will be given clearly to all the students. Some of them are not here, they didn't have the opportunity. But of course, some of them had better understanding on everything you may give them. By the time you start speaking, the knowledge you even give them, they can know more than you do.
The camp organized by Peace Corps volunteers clearly explains their resolve to make real differences in the lives of locals and will also help strengthen ties between Banjul and Washington. For Grts News, this is Baukar Senghor.
A 5-day capacity building exercise designed to give participants the requisite skills to effectively and efficiently manage cases of gender-based violence is underway. The activities staged by the Network Against Gender-Based Violence targets health workers. Ominjai has the rest of that story.
Of women and girls, ensuring a violence-free environment and all forms of discrimination against women and girls is the key goal of the Network Against Gender-Based Violence. The network provides a platform for stakeholders to discuss strategies and initiate actions for the eradication of gender-based violence. The network further seeks to raise awareness on issues of gender-based violence and as well the Women's Act. This conclave is one among many efforts the network is spearheading with the aim of enhancing the status of trainers of healthcare providers on guidelines on clinical management of gender-based violence. This is geared towards enabling them work efficiently and effectively in their operations.
Oftentimes, I'm so women would present themselves to you, but if you don't ask them, if you don't inquire, if you don't go deep into their skins, you probably wouldn't be able to know that maybe a problem they have presented is actually a manifestation of the violence that they have experienced. So again, that is one purpose of this workshop, to be able to enhance your skills, to be able to probe more.
Recent studies conducted by the Edward Francis Small Teaching Hospital in some urban secondary schools indicate that 86% of girls in secondary schools had been victims of sexual harassment. In addition to that, a research by World Health Organization further showed that 1 out of every 5 women could become a victim of gender-based violence in her lifetime.
So when we look at the magnitude of the burden of gender-based violence, and we look at all the other well-documented medical, psychosocial, and even economic consequences of the problem, as well alluded to by our able chairman, we find out that there is a need to eliminate this problem. And there's also a need to provide holistic care, the operative word there being holistic, to victims or survivors of gender-based violence.
Gender-based violence has serious long-term consequences on the woman's reproductive, sexual, and mental health. It is also a violation of basic human rights, yet research and studies have shown that a great proportion of women worldwide have continued to experience violence perpetrated against them simply for being women. Majority of the abusers are men and boys, are the very people they love, trust, honor, and marry.
With this 5-day tutorial, the expectation is that these healthcare providers will be equipped with better knowledge and understanding of clinical management of gender-based violence and related issues. Uminjai, Grts.
Canifing Municipal Council is implementing a $1.5 million project at the Bakote dump site. Their initiative that kicked off sometime last week forms part of efforts aimed at ensuring sustainable management of the refuse heap. Rahibite visited the site alongside council officials and she now reports.
Management has become a global concern as populations continue to grow, thereby adding to the increase of waste dumped on a daily basis. Waste management, therefore, is considered very vital and something that all should contribute to its effective implementation. Lack of proper waste management could be detrimental to health and the environment. The death within the waste thrown every day by people can cause serious hazards to one's health, and not only that, but the smoke that usually light up as a result of the heat generated by the waste is also risky to one's health. When it comes to its impact on the environment, non-biodegradable elements like iron and plastic, and even the smoke causes pollution to the environment and soil, as it takes decades for them to dissolve in the soil.
Managing garbage is expensive, because it requires a lot of resources. And then, we are also giving it the priority.